Where along the way of our lives did we either learn or just think that fixing is synonymous with emotional availability? That fixing means you care the most? Where did we learn that? I'm giving it some thought because I have learned over the span of my almost 51 years that fixing has absolutely nothing to do with care or emotional presence and availability. Now, our intentions may be that we care. Our desire to fix comes from a place of caring, and maybe we don't even think we're trying to fix something. We're simply trying to be helpful. You've named a problem, right? You've named a problem, and my thoughts are thinking, and I see a clear path ahead as to how you could navigate that. Let me help you with that. Well, let us all save ourselves the many moments of disappointment, dissatisfaction, and unnecessary, unintentional disconnection from the person we're quote unquote trying to help. We are not here to fix anyone. We are not here thinking that we have the best thoughts and ideas to help a person move forward. Now, it is something that has not been overnight for me at all. I am someone who hears a problem, sees an issue, I can notice the gaps, and I immediately can go into, if you do X, Y, and Z, I guarantee you'll be great. And in my mind, and in reality, it may actually be great. But here's the thing. Just because we think we have an answer, or just because we do have an answer, doesn't mean that that person is supposed to skip their journey and process to arrive. We all have a journey to walk. We learn things in our own time, at our own pace, based on our level of consciousness, our inner workings, all of those things. It's like going back to high school where you have a mathematical equation and you have to operationalize it. They want to see the work, not just the answer. To think you're fixing something is to give an answer without a person moving through the effort and the work of truly integrating and learning their way forward. And no one needs to be fixed. No one's broken. Let me repeat that. No one needs to be fixed. No one is broken. So what I've come to learn and realize is that when someone brings a matter to me, they're sharing, that the emotional availability in that moment is to just be present with a generous ear. To listen to the layers and the complexity and to manage my inner physiological response, which may be rising because I'm thinking this could actually be better for you. Just pause those thoughts. Ride the wave of the moment of being present for the person. Walking alongside them and validating their experience. Because a lot of times as a person shares, they're hearing themselves, right? And they're learning more and more about what is and what isn't. Their clarity becomes clearer. Now, whether or not they execute, if anything changes, that's neither here nor there. That's their journey and path to walk. We cannot control the way of another. But we can be emotionally available by not jumping in to fix, not trying to intervene, and just bearing witness and listening and maybe asking, how might I support you? Is there anything that you need? And I'm not saying that it's easy, especially if you're anywhere like me, right? If we're similar in any way, it's not easy. It is a practice, and that we will not always get right, which is why it's called a practice. It's not about perfection. When we make a mistake, that brings us to the awareness again, to reflect and stand from the place of our falling and take a step forward and try again. It's a practice. It's also a practice in patience, in our ability to hold space for someone who is struggling through something, who has not yet arrived at a decision, who has not yet opened the door for themselves to make choices, to choose, to either turn left or right. Part of the process of growing ourselves forward is to be right where we are until where we are takes us forward. And so it's important to have sounding boards. It's important to have partners with whom you can share, where you can lay your burdens down and trust the way that they're just laying there, that no one's trying to put the pieces together. And that's an ongoing message for me, right? Because again, it's a practice. Problem, solution, issue, fix, change. But no, let us not have transactions, or let us have fewer transactions and more connection, more closeness, more intimacy, which really exists there in the gray. Not in the black or white, not in the either or, the yes or no, but in the murk of the gray. It's like the lotus that births from the mud. Now, if you've ever trekked through the mud, yeah, it's a little gravitous. It's heavy, messy. It's a whole bunch of what you don't want. You're ready to rinse off, right? Well, in our interactions, as people come to us with their challenges or whatever they're going through, may we join them a little longer in the mud and take steps alongside them as they make their way out. Because guess what? If we're being honest, if there's anything we're going through, we want that same holding. Because no one has the answer for you other than you. And if you don't yet have the answer, meaning you haven't encountered it yet, you have to sit in the quiet of that. You have to stay in the gray of that and go within and find truth. So if no one knows better than you for you, then remember that when someone brings something that they're struggling with to you. This isn't about a fix. It isn't about a transaction. It isn't about controlling outcomes or hurrying someone along their way. It's about being with. And so today, I encourage you and I encourage myself to remember to practice walking alongside and dispensing with the need to have an answer to something that is not yours. But to encourage the spaciousness with the other, to encounter what is true for them. We want something that's connective and holding, and fixing is not that. Here is to the way of walking in the gray, lingering a little longer there in the mud with someone who's navigating something murky and difficult, and practicing silencing the fix. so that we can be there dwelling in the connection. That sounds beautiful to me. How does that sound for you?